Loving. Wonderful church. Family. Wonderful. Loving.
Time back also, but my first memory probably.
I count it a privilege to have the opportunity.
In 1816, the African Methodist Episcopal Church was founded by Richard Allen and Absalom Jones. Shortly afterwards, the African Methodist Episcopal Church came into existence in South Carolina. The African Methodist Episcopal Church returned to the South in 1863 with the Bishop Daniel Alexander Payne as presiding prelate. In 1865, during the same year as the abolishment of slavery in the United States, the South Carolina Conference became one of the largest conferences of the African Methodist Episcopal Church. The conference oversaw the Mount Pleasant district, which included Olive Branch. In 1910, the Palmetto Conference was established. Olive Branch became part of what was known as the Mount Pleasant Circuit. The property which became Olive Branch was purchased from John and Ann Hamlin, owners of a plantation adjacent to what became the church. The purchase date is noted to have been March 23, 1870. In Christchurch Parish, the property is bound on the north and west by Willock, on the east by Georgetown and Mathis Ferry Roads, on the south by Georgetown Highway. Trustees during the purchase were J. W. Venning, Robert Curtis, Jacob Swinton, Cyrus Howard, Lot McNeil, David Diall, Charles F. North, and Mingo Ward. Reverend John Graham was the minister in charge at the time. Graham erected a pole building at first, and around 1884 a board building was erected. Olive Branch began a circuit and shared the following pastors with Goodwill A. M.E. Church: J. B. Greer, Jack Singleton, F. E. Rivers, W. F. McBrown, M.A., Hollings, A. C. Brown, E. E. Jones, S. S. Brewington, William Taylor, W. P. Carolina, C. Lindsay, C. S. T. Mollett, W. T. Murray, E. P. Butler, William Jackson, and J. Taylor. Services were held at Olive Branch on the first and third Sundays, and at Goodwill AMEC, our sister church, on the second and fourth Sundays. The congregation at both churches grew rapidly. To fulfill the spiritual needs of each congregation, each church was assigned their own pastor. In 1962, Reverend J. J. Taylor was appointed to Olive Branch and served until he was transferred to Goodwill AMEC in 1970. Today, more than 150 years later, Olive Branch stands as one of the oldest African-American churches in the Mount Pleasant area. Its history is not only a story of a building, but of a people, of endurance, faith, and unity. From a modest pole structure to a thriving place of worship, Olive Branch AME Church continues to honor its legacy while inspiring future generations. This is more than history. This is a testimony.
Good afternoon. I'm Reverend Richard Harkness, current pastor of Olive Branch AME Church, and I count it a privilege to have the opportunity to serve this congregation, and particularly to be here at the time we're celebrating 150 years of Christian service and ministry in this part of God's kingdom. So I count it a privilege and a joy to just be a part of this point of history in the church, in the life of the church. I was assigned to Olive Branch in 2014, and on the Monday after I was appointed, my father passed, and that experience told me just about everything I needed to know about this congregation. A new pastor, but they really opened up their hearts, wrapped their arms around my family and I, and gave us the support we needed, just to transition through that time of grief and sorrow. There were challenges when we came, but the church had a heart that was open and willing to work and and to follow leadership. So I thank God for the opportunity just to be here.
What does Olive Branch AME Church means to me? This is all I know. Olive Branch AME Church has been my home for over 40-something years. I was not baptized here, but I am here because of my father, Reverend Isaac Grant, who started out here, and this is where I pretty much grew up. I didn't officially become a member of Olive Branch until about 2023, right before I moved to Atlanta, Georgia for a little while, and I came back home, but I came right back to Olive Branch AME Church. And I take a lot of pride in my church, not only because I'm a preacher's daughter, but also because my grandfather's name is on the cornerstone of this church, so I do hold it at high esteem. But beyond that, Olive Branch has been very instrumental in my spiritual growth and development, because not only is my father from here, but I'm honored to preach in the same pulpit where my father also preached. I'm now a local ordained elder. Reverend Marshall or Reverend Grant, whichever one people prefer. I prefer Marshall. I'm simple like that. But it has a lot to do with my growth and development from a little child, listening to Reverend L.O. Johnson. One of the main sermons that I'll never forget that he preached was "Watch Them Dogs," and I was only about 7 or 8 years old, and knowing that I can still recall that sermon, or his daughter in the male choir singing the song "If God Is Dead." Again, I was just a little girl. Or watching the young adult choir or the youth choir in their blue dresses and pilgrim shirts, pilgrim collar dresses, or even myself singing on the Sunbeam choir when we had red skirts and white robes. It's been a very, very big part of my spiritual growth and my development, my walk with Christ. I don't feel right if I don't come to Olive Branch on Sundays. It just doesn't feel right. This is a place where I can exhale and I can breathe, and where I just receive everything that I need to take me through the week. So I'm grateful to be a member of Olive Branch AME Church, and I will forever be a member of Olive Branch AME Church until they say ashes to ashes and dust to dust.
Man, that's a good feelings. And with me here, being a part of it, that's a good feeling. I mean, we all should be, rejoicing. Like I mentioned before, I didn't thought I'd really be here to see this, but it's a good feelings, and I'm just elated to be a part of seeing 150 years. That's, pretty good progress, pretty good thing that the ancestors did, that we're building on to see this.
I think it's a very significant event. From what I know, and I don't know a whole lot in the extent from. I think the beginning they said it started with a tent and then went to a wooden structure and a masonry structure and whatever to our present site. So I think it's significant, especially a lot of black churches don't expand as much as we do. Some of them are still there, and some of them are still at a small thing. So we were able to kind of expand where we have a membership comprised of several different communities, and I think it's thriving. And I think the way the AME format is that we have different pastors, so you bring in different kind of management or administrative styles. Some people like them, some people don't, but at least you do get a chance to experience things that are different, I always remember, I know from Reverend Johnson, and I said I came up behind his era. One thing he did mention, he said that I remember, is that he said your religion should never make you feel uncomfortable. So you can still serve God, but you need to enjoy it too, literally as well as spiritually. And I kind of always remember that.
It means a lot being a member of this church for a long time, since I even joined the church at the age of 12 years old, coming before I could even remember and even thought about joining the church. So this anniversary means a lot.
For me, this anniversary, it means a lot as well, to celebrate 156 years and to kind of think about where we started, where we are right now, and the future that we have for Olive Branch. It's a beautiful thing to think about. and even being a member of Olive Branch for over 20 years. And I remember being here in middle and high school, starting off in church school with Miss Marie Charles as my teacher, and now I'm in the adult class, and same with the other students that were in the class as well. And it's just amazing in the 20 years that I've been here, so I can only imagine the 156. And I pray that I'm here long enough to see the development of Olive Branch, not just the walls, but the spiritual health of the church as well.
I just love serving the Lord. And my favorite scripture is 150th Psalm. And I love praising God. I love giving him all the glory and all the honor, because all of it belongs to him. And all I can say, to God be the glory. And for you who coming up behind me, I hope that you would follow in my footstep and do the right thing and do what God allows you to do.
Being a part of this church means a lot to me because majority of my family grew up in this church. My grandmother, Rosalind B. Snipe, my grandfather, Andrew Snipe, my mother, all of my Snipe relatives have grew up in this church. I am the age of 25 now, and I've been in this church since I was a baby, going through Sunday school, going on a lot of the trips, YPD. I help with the youth ministry and do praise dancing. So everything that I've learned throughout the years has helped me through my matriculations through life, through school, and currently with everything that I'm doing within the church.
So my journey here at Olive Branch started about 28 years ago, after I had my son, Cameron Grant. I decided to leave my home church on watch care and join Olive Branch because it was such a family-oriented and loving congregation. The pastor was very giving and warm. I came as a young person, and now I'm a little bit older, but at the same time, during my time here, I've enjoyed the fellowship that we have here at Olive Branch. As I said before, it's like a huge community, huge family. Everyone is loving. I feel like I've been at Olive Branch almost all of my life.
And this church will always hold a special place in my heart just because it's my village. I have all of my prayer warrior mothers here, like my Aunt Ree, and then my granny, Estelle. They call her Michi. That's her little nickname here. And so this church will always hold a special place, even though I live in Charlotte. And even like when I was in nursing school, I had my pastor, Reverend Harkness, and his wife. They really supported me throughout that time and journey. And I'm forever grateful for that as well. So that's why I love Olive Branch so much.
I can't really think of any place else to be but in Olive Branch. And all of my children are now involved with the church, and I'm grateful for that. And each Sunday when I come here, I can sit here, reminisce, and I can look around and see the individuals who have gone on, the individuals who provided the foundation for this church. Olive Branch will forever be with me.
Greetings, my Olive Branch Church family. I'm Roberta Hugie Pinckney, and I've been a member of Olive Branch for 46 years. My first experience with Olive Branch came about when I became a young Christian convert at Goodwill AME Church in the early 1960s. Because the two churches were pastored by the same pastor, myself and the other new converts were sent to Olive Branch to be fellowshipped.
To God be the glory. My name is Rose M. Stokes Smalls, and I am the very proud pastor of Greater Mount Zion AME Church located in McClellanville, South Carolina. I left Olive Branch in 2001. Hard to believe it's been almost 25 years since I've been gone. But of course, Olive Branch has always been my home church, and I have always been very, very proud to say that Olive Branch is my home church. And again, I am so proud because I am a product of Olive Branch AME Church. And that's where I received all of my spiritual training was there at Olive Branch, and was prepared well to go out and serve in other congregations. And so again, I said to Reverend Harkness and Mrs. Harkness, to the officers and members of Greater Olive Branch AME Church, my home church, happy anniversary. Happy 156th church anniversary. It is my prayer that the Lord will continue to enlarge your territory, both individually as well as collectively. To God be the glory for the great things he has done and the great things he will continue to do. God bless you.
50 years of being in existence. Did you ever think you would be here to see the church celebrate 150 years?
No, I thought I mentioned that before coming up. I thought, I would
be gone.
I didn't ask questions. I thought I would have been gone. And now he's blessed my soul. Other than that, I think everything is beautiful.
Do you ladies have
and I'll be back soon.
That's present.
Fine. Continue the good work. Trust in the Lord. And he will see that everything. Because, my favorite, he can do anything if you trust in him.
Started the church anniversary, like how they're doing today. But I feel like it's good because this church has been here for 150 years. Well, I'm not 150 years, but however, from the time that I was here and it started the anniversary, I tried to do whatever I could do at that time.
What are you hoping to see in the future for Olive Branch?
Oh, in the future for Olive Branch, they're talking about building a church. I don't know if the Lord would ever keep me here to see that happen, but I pray that God would give the vision that this would come true. And then, who knows? God might just let me be here to see it come true. But I would love to see us have another church, as they said, we need one. I would just like to say that as we go along, coming back and forth to our church, I just pray that God would help us to do his work as he has set before us to do. And I just ask God to help us not to get weary in what we do. I just pray that God would help us to work for the upbuilding of his kingdom so that when the time comes, and keep us loving and kind and faithful to one another. Because without God, we can do nothing. If he draw away from us this minute, we're just gone. You can't do nothing. He is our strength. He is our life. He is our tomorrow. And I just thank him all the time. Because sometimes I look around, I say, God, I don't have no one else. I say, everyone else is good to me. And I say, why they're good to me? Because you make them be good to me. And I said, I just thank you. And I just think that God would keep us if we put our trust in him and do all that he wants us to do. That's all he wants us to do, is just love him and be concerned. And if we do that, then God will see us through.
Today, we don't just mark the passing of time. We honor a living legacy. From its earliest days, Olive Branch AME Church has stood as more than a building. It has been a refuge, a voice, a beacon. Within these walls, prayers have risen in moments of sorrow. Songs have lifted spirits in times of joy. And a community has been bound together by faith that does not waver. Through generations, this church has witnessed history unfold, moments of struggle and triumph alike. And yet, through it all, one truth has remained constant. a commitment to faith, to justice, to love, and to one another. Anniversaries invite us to look back, but they also call us forward. Because the story of Olive Branch is still being written. It lives in every child who learns here, every family that finds strength here, every voice that rises in praise, and every hand extended in service. The foundation laid by those who came before is now carried by those who stand here today. So, as we celebrate this milestone, we do so not only with gratitude, but with purpose. Purpose to continue the work. Purpose to uplift the next generation. Purpose to remain a light in Charleston and beyond. Because a church like this does not simply endure, it grows, it inspires, and it transforms. And as the doors of Olive Branch AME Church remain open, so too does its mission, rooted in faith, strengthened by community, and guided by a vision that will carry it far into the future. This is not the end of the story. It is a continuation, and the best chapters are still to come.